Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this first class of BITSAT English sessions. Actually, English is supposed to be an interactive session because where we need to get your feedback all the time, and it is very strange that I'm addressing this online session. Corona is making us do things which we thought were impossible earlier. But I need to know how many of you are awake after those 3 maths, physics, chemistry sessions. So I will make this session as light as possible. So during the course of this session, I'll keep poking you to see if you are awake. So to make this session lively, I want you to interact as much as possible. First of all, use the chat very well and tell me if you are able to hear me. Are you able to hear me properly? Is the audio okay? Please use the chat and tell me. Good. So Meghna has responded. Kaushik has responded. Harshit Verma has responded. Bhagirath Reddy has responded. Arvind Saina has responded. Very nice. MS Murthy has responded. Meghna has responded. Challa has responded. Aditi has responded. Great. So I'm audible to everybody. So use the chat. Those of you who are viewing it on YouTube, there is a number on the screen. The number is 9000007761. So what you can do is you can send me a WhatsApp. That phone is also with me, and I will try to answer questions that you have and any other doubts that you have on WhatsApp too. So try to use chat. If chat is not possible, use the WhatsApp. Okay. With that being said, let's start off with the English session. Now, when do you start the English sessions? That was the question that we had in our mind, because there is no point in starting English very early. There's no point in picking early because English, there's no heavy concepts like your maths, physics, and chemistry. It's all based on practice. And if you do too much of practice, then, fatigue sets in early. So we are assuming that, the best case scenario as of now is that BITSAT will be held sometime in the last week of May. That's the best case scenario. I don't know whether that can happen, but let's assume that happens. So if that happens, then perhaps this is the right time to start, and we'll start slowly. So we'll have these classes on alternate days, and I think that is sufficient for us to pick up steam. All right, that is one thing that you need to keep in mind. Then also, because this is my first session online and you guys have more experience than me, you've been attending these classes for about 2 weeks, so you guys have to cut me some slack if I make some mistakes. So please bear with me. Also, the advantage I realized of these online classes is that I can blame so many people if things don't go well. I can blame Zoom. I can blame my internet service provider. I can also blame Santosh, who's conducting this session. So I've got too many people to blame right now. So, but anyway, I'll try to keep it. I hope this class goes on well. Okay, now let's start off with our first slide today. And before this, some time back, I had created a small video of about 25 odd minutes, which I put on YouTube. How many of you have seen that? Can you just respond to me? How many of you have seen that? Can you respond to me on chat? How many of you have seen my earlier video? If you've seen yes, say yes. If you've not seen it, say no. Okay, a lot of people. Okay, some people have not seen it. So some people have seen it. Okay, that's nice. So one thing you need to do is keep going to our YouTube and keep checking, because there may be some additional sessions. So you also have to subscribe to the YouTube channel so that if there is a new session, then you will be notified of the same. All right. Okay. So doesn't matter. Some of you have seen, some of you have not seen. I will just run through that quickly. For the people who have seen it also, it is going to be some kind of a revision. So what we're going to do today, this is purely an intro session where we are going to see all the question patterns in the BITSAT English exam. And we're going to see about 30 questions, 30 odd questions, which means actually 2 BITSAT papers. So in the process of going through this session, these questions, we are covering 2 BITSAT papers. So without further ado, let's go on with our first slide. Yes, so let's try to understand the importance of English in BITSAT. My chat has disappeared. So let me see if I can get my chat back. I know for some reason my chat has disappeared. Anyway, I will come back to that. Importance of English in BITSAT. 15 questions are there, 3 marks each. Therefore, 45 marks we are talking about. 45 marks to give you the importance, 10% of the maximum marks. And 10% of the maximum marks, and if you're scoring, if you're targeting around 300, we're talking about 15% of your marks. So quite a lot. However, the importance of English is that it'll help you in terms of getting the branch and the campus. But your entry into BITS will still be decided by maths, physics, and chemistry. So don't overdo the English bit and the reasoning bit. First, you'll have to ensure your seat in BITS through maths, physics, chemistry. Having done that, your English and logical reasoning will help you in terms of getting that particular branch and that particular campus. So that is what you got to keep in mind. So we need to give it importance, but not too much of importance. Okay, now that's about the maximum marks. Now, how should you prepare? In fact, there are some people who say, should you prepare at all? Well, point is that preparation does make some difference. But out of those 15 odd questions, any student who's gone through a decent English medium education will be able to answer about 8 questions without too much of difficulty. What the practice will ensure, what these classes will ensure, is that you don't make any mistakes in those 8 questions, which you can normally handle on the basis of your English education so far. And it will help you in answering the remaining questions too. So what we are going to do in these classes is to ensure that you score as many of those 45 marks as possible. And that will actually help you in terms of, say, for example, getting that elusive computer science branch in Pilani campus. Okay, now we use the word elusive. Elusive. Okay, so could somebody tell me the meaning of the word elusive? And let me try to get this chat here. I don't know why my chat is not working. Is it because my video is not working? Let me get my video. Yeah, it's there. I don't know why my chat is not working. Santosh, can you help me there? My chat is not working. I think I need to use all the slides here. Okay, so I'll come back to elusive in a little while. Before that, what you need to do is get exposed to question patterns. This is one thing that you need to do as far as practice is concerned, and that is what we're going to do. Fortunately for us, BITS authorities have made our job very simple in the sense that they have defined very precisely the English syllabus, very, very precisely. Otherwise, you know, you can ask any question under the sun and say that this is part of English. So they've given us very, very precise boundaries. It happens in very few competitive tests, and I handle English for a lot of these competitive tests, and nowhere is it as well defined as in BITSAT. So our boundaries are known. So what we're going to do is look at those boundaries today and see the question patterns for each of those points that are given by the BITSAT authorities in the BITSAT brochure. Then the next thing that you're going to do is do short exercises, nothing more than 15 to 20 minutes. Don't overdo it. As I was telling you in the beginning, don't overdo it at all. So 20 minutes to 30 minutes. And mostly you should be doing these things to break the monotony of your maths, physics, chemistry. You do a lot of maths, physics, chemistry, then you want to take a break. Then instead of, going out and doing some physical stretching and all that, you could perhaps use this English and logical reasoning for 15-20 minutes, get refreshed, and get back to your maths, physics, chemistry. So that to break the monotony of maths, physics, chemistry preparation, you can use this. I'm still not able to get my chat. Let me see what I can do. You can still respond to me on WhatsApp. So I wanted to look at the meaning of the word elusive. So elusive actually means difficult to find, achieve, or remember. So I was talking about this elusive Pilani computer science seat. So it means it is that difficult. And those of you who are preparing seriously for BITSAT know how difficult it is to get into computer science at Pilani campus. So you can call it elusive. So let's come back to BITSAT English syllabus. And the first part is vocabulary, and we will see questions in vocabulary today. Then reading comprehension, we're going to see those questions in reading comprehension, what it means. Composition, basically most questions in composition got to do with rearrangement. We will see those questions, what rearrangement means. And finally, grammar. There's a lot of grammar there. Also, grammar means, should you get back to Renan Martin and go through all the grammar exercises? Not necessary. Grammar also has been precisely defined. There are about, I think, about 12 topics that they handle in grammar, and we will look at those 12 topics also. There's no point in going back to grammar and trying to learn from basics. We don't have that kind of time, and I don't think it's worth that effort. So what we're going to do is do some practice, and what you already know in English, we will try to leverage on that. We will try to use those things to answer these questions. So let's look at each one of these subsections in sequence. Let's start with vocabulary first. When we talk about vocabulary, we start with synonyms. Okay, and synonyms means words with the same meaning. And let's see the question type here. Find the synonym of the word given. Infringe. Why am I not able to use my chat? Santosh, have you disabled chat? Can you check up, Santosh? Have you disabled the chat? I'm not able to use the chat. It's not visible. So guys, you need to cooperate with me. Please send me a WhatsApp on that number that I've given, 9000007761 to give me your answers. Why am I not able to see chat? Okay, now what is the answer to this question? Find the synonym or the word given. I'm trying to check up with Santosh if he can enable the chat. Yeah. Uh, Yes, I got the chat now. Thank you very much. I got the chat now. Um, so I hope Santosh doesn't do anything funny here. So yeah, you got it. So a lot of people have answered this question. Infringe is to violate. So infringe here in this particular context means breaking the terms of law or a contract. Like for example, you say copyright infringement. Now you copy a video, a pirated video, for example, and you see it. Then what are you doing? You are infringing the copyright owned by somebody else. Okay. Now here there is another word called persuade. Persuade means to urge someone to do something. All right. By giving them reason, etc., etc. Nurture means to take care of people, protect and feed. So these are the meanings of the word of the words that are given. But in here, the answer to infringe is to violate. Okay, now let's get on with the next question type. Okay, antonyms. Find the meaning of the word given. Antonym. Sporadic. Sporadic. I'm still again. This chat has disappeared. The Zoom is playing funny tricks with me. The chat has disappeared. What's the problem? Not able to get the chat. Okay, so sporadic, guys, if you can answer on WhatsApp, please do that. This chat is a little erratic. Sporadic means which occurs at irregular intervals, something which is not regular. It is scattered or isolated. So sporadic fighting broke out, as it is called, or sporadic gunfire was heard. So something which is occasional, something which is infrequent, something which is irregular. So these are the synonyms of the word sporadic. Here we are looking at the antonym. Antonym obviously is constant here, and constant. There are some other words here, like for example, intrepid. Intrepid means fearless. Like for example, an intrepid soldier or intrepid warrior. Florid. Florid means something which is excessively elaborate, a florid design, or it also has another meaning, ruddy or red complexioned. So that's the meaning of the word sporadic. So this is the next question type, which is antonyms. Let's move on. Contextual meaning. Here what happens is a sentence is given and a word is given. A word is underlined or appears in bold, and you are supposed to find the meaning of the word. Here in this particular case, wherever he goes, the esteemed Dr. C.N.R. Rao is applauded for his path-breaking research. What does esteemed mean? Okay, so could somebody answer this question? Okay, I'm still not able to figure this funny chat bit. I'm not able to get the chat. Okay, so if you people have a mobile phone ready, please send your responses through. Yes, there are. Tara has. So chat has some problem. Please use the WhatsApp, Tara. I'm answering on WhatsApp, so somebody has answered this. Greatly admired. Yes, esteemed is greatly admired. There is another word that is there. Scorned. Scorned is just the opposite meaning. What it means is, expressing disgust and anger. So the appropriate word here is the greatly admired. So contextual meaning is easier than synonyms, because here you've got the sentence as an additional hint. So you can make out from the sentence what is the approximate meaning. And we find the recent trend, not just in BITSAT, but in all verbal questions everywhere around the world, is to give context-based meanings. If you look at GRE, the new modified GRE, they have verbal reasoning where they give the context. So earlier, a few years back, the old GRE exam used to have synonyms and antonym questions. Similarly, CAT of IIMs used to have the synonyms and antonyms. Now all of those people have changed their format, because it doesn't make sense today for people to expect students to by heart word list. So you should be in a position to find out the meaning of the word from the context in which it is presented. That is one. Second is that English is a funny language, and same word has got different meanings. Like for example, let's take a three-letter word called pan, P-A-N, pan. All right. So what is the meaning of the word pan? Could anybody tell me what's the meaning of the word pan? Everybody knows that it is what you call a frying pan. You're all familiar with a frying pan. Okay. But pan also means to criticize. Now, where is a frying pan and where is the word criticize? Pan, as it is used in a frying pan, is a noun, and to criticize is a verb. So English is such a funny language that the same word has got different meanings. So contextual meaning means what is the meaning of the word as used in the context that is given. So this will appear as a separate bit where you'll be given a separate sentence. This contextual meaning also appears in reading comprehension, where you are given a passage, and in the passage one or two words are marked and you're supposed to find the meanings of the word. So what you need to do is you need to do some smart guessing, and we will see today and in later classes how to do this smart guessing. So the first three questions: antonyms, synonyms, and contextual meaning. What is it that you're going to do in terms of preparation? Frankly, there is no preparation that you can do now, because it doesn't make sense to mug up a whole lot of word lists. You can go through, say, hundreds and thousands of words, but there is no guarantee that in BITSAT those words will appear. So what you have to do is you rely on your vocab, whatever you have so far. Try to do some smart guessing. When we discuss in the class, we will see how you can do those smart guessing and do whatever practice that you can do. And that is how you're going to prepare for vocab. And I won't recommend going through any long word list at this stage. Okay, let's move on. One word substitute. Here what happens is you are given a phrase, a person who readily believes others. All right. And you're supposed to find the meaning of the word, a person who readily believes others. So what could be the answer for this? So can somebody, yes, somebody is very fast here. I got it in WhatsApp. Credulous. All right. So credulous is the answer. So let's look at the meanings of the other words. Creditor. Creditor means to whom money is owed. You take money from somebody, you take a debt, and he becomes your creditor. All right. So that is the meaning of the word creditor. Creditable means commendable, laudable. all right, may not be outstanding, but all the same commendable. Like though the team lost, they put up a creditable show. Okay, may not be outstanding performance, but still they put up a decent show. So that is how creditable is used. Credible means believable. All right, so there is credible evidence to say that this fellow committed the offense. That means something believable. All right, credulous means people who are ready to believe whatever they are told. Okay, so these are the guys who are very easy for the easy targets for scam. So that is one word substitute, and in fact our next class will be on one word substitute. So one word substitute is easy to prepare because there are those predictable questions, and if you go to our material, there is an entire chapter dedicated to one word substitute. So next class we're going to see one word substitutes. So your preparation would be, going through the list that we have given and trying to answer questions, and that will give you the practice that is required for one word substitutes. Okay, now the other one is next in vocabulary is spelling. All right, so there are two question types here. One is identify the word that is spelled correctly. That is the first question type. Here you have calendar, cannibal, metal, and procedure. Here there is a problem with this. This has to be A. So cannibal, cannibal is a human flesh eater. So this has to be a double N. So that is wrong. Metal seems to be right. And proceed, there is a double E there. So metal means, what is metal? Meaning of the word metal: spirit and resilience, ability and determination. So that is the meaning of the word metal. The team showed its metal in the finals of the tournament. All right, so that's what metal is. And precede means something which comes before something else. Like for example, MS Dhoni was preceded Kohli as the captain of the Indian cricket team. So that is how it is. So in terms of spelling, the correct answer is C, metal. Okay, then identify the option that gives the correct spelling here. The second one, the same word is given but spelled in different ways. You got to find out which is the right way of spelling. Now here, if you see, there is a single C left here, so you need one more C. Here there is a deficit of a single M, you need another M. Here there is A, it has to be O. So accommodation. So the right meaning is accommodation. Okay, right. Okay, that is about spellings. So how do you prepare for spellings? So what we will do is that we've given in our material, we've given a list of words which are commonly misspelled. So please go through that, and perhaps that would give you an idea of the kind of questions that you would face. And there'll be a lot of practice that we will be doing. We will do an exercise on that, and then our part tests and grant tests will have questions on spellings too. Then vocabulary, homophones. Now what are homophones? Homophones are words which are spelled differently but pronounced similarly. For example, let's look at them, and these are pretty simple to answer. The actor had to shoot the scene. So the answer here is this scene. It's going to rain today. So which weather are you going to use? W-E-A-T-H-E-R, W-H-E-T-H-E-R. So a lot of people get confused here between this weather, W-E-A-T-H-E-R, and W-H-E-T-H-E-R. Now, W-E-A-T-H-E-R, this weather shows the atmospheric conditions over a place over short term. Again, weather cannot be confused with climate. Climate is over a long-term weather phenomenon. Weather is for a short term. It's sunny today. The weather is sunny today. All right. So that is how you use weather. W-H-E-T-H-E-R is a conjunction. All right. So it gives, you use this when you have to give a choice between two options. Like here, you like it or not. Like it is one option. Not liking is another option. And you use weather here. So the answer here is weather. W-H-E-T-H-E-R. The third question. The dash weather on the weekend is supposed to be sunny. Here we are talking about the atmospheric conditions, and therefore the appropriate answer here is W-E-A-T-H-E-R, weather. All right. Okay, let me see if my chat is working. No, sorry, it's not working. Okay. Now, jumbled letters. This is another vocab type. So, jumbled letters. In this question, a word is given in jumbled form. Find the word. Okay. So, I don't want to give you too much time on this. This word is thrown. Okay. THRONE. And the right option is 426531. So, we will do some exercises in this regard. This is very easy. The trick is that given sufficient time, anybody can answer these questions. But in BITSAT, we are hard pressed for time. And that is the beauty of the English section. You can answer more questions in less time. So if you're thorough with English section, then you can be productive in English section, save some time in English section, and that time you can give it to your maths, physics, or chemistry. And the entire purpose of these classes is to ensure that you save time. Okay. So as far as jumbled letters is concerned, what you need to do is, don't go, or for that matter, any sequencing question, don't go to the jumbled letters that are given and try to sequence them. The best thing is go to the options. Go to the options and try to find out which is the best option, because in 1 or 2 attempts, you can find out by elimination, etc. When we do some exercises, we will see how to do this. So don't look at the jumbled letters and try to sequence them. You will not get any idea. It will take a lot of time. The best thing is go to the options first and see how to answer the question. Okay, we will see other kinds of sequencing questions today, and we will see how to put this in practice. Okay, the next one is odd word. Odd word means, actually it's less of English, more of reasoning and general knowledge. I don't know why it is included here and why BITS authorities have included odd word in the English section. In most other examinations, in competitive exams, odd word comes as part of reasoning. So here we'll see odd word. All the words given below belong to a category except one. Identify the odd word. So what do you have here? Arrow, axe, knife, dagger, and sword. Now, if you see, all of them are weapons. So that is something which is common. So which is the one which is different? So I have already discussed this in video, so some of you may know the answer. So I don't want to give you time to answer this question. The answer is arrow. Why is it arrow? If you see, axe, knife, dagger, and sword are all weapons which you need to use in close proximity. Arrow you can fire from a distance. Also, axe, knife, dagger, and sword are used to cut. Arrow has got a pointed tip and it will pierce things. So the nature of action is slightly different. So the answer here is arrow. How are you going to answer this question? Just by sheer practice. We are going to do a lot of practice in odd words. It will also appear in reasoning section, and I think that practice should be sufficient as far as odd word goes. Okay, next is analogy section. Analogy means you are given a word pair, and what you need to do is, what is the relationship between the words that are given? So here, the question below consists of 2 words which have a certain relationship. Choose the pair which exhibits a similar relationship. So here is the word pair that is given. You need to find out what is the relationship between these 2 words. Infrequent and always. So what is the relationship? The relationship is, yeah, somebody has answered the question already. Okay, they're very fast. So infrequent is to always, they are synonymous. The relationship is synonymous. Infrequent to always. Oh, sorry, they are antonymous. Infrequent means which happens occasionally, always means which happens all the time. So the relationship is antonymous. So what you need to find out is, you need to find out a word pair where the words are antonyms of each other. Occasional and sometimes, they are synonyms. Seldom and rare, synonyms. Often and frequent, synonyms. So sporadic and constant, we've already seen this earlier today. So sporadic and constant, they are antonyms. So the answer therefore is sporadic and constant. So what are we going to do about analogies? Analogies, there is a particular chapter on analogies. We will be discussing this in one of the sessions today. So what we've done so far is we've discussed 9 vocabulary sessions, 9 of them, 9 vocabulary question types. Okay, so this is all the exhaustive question types that you will find in the vocabulary section. we've completed vocabulary. Now we need to move to reading comprehension and then composition and grammar. So let's look at reading comprehension. So reading comprehension, most of you guys are familiar. You would have done this in high school. You would have done this in intermediate, your 12th class, whatever you've done. In most English papers, exams, you have reading comprehension where there's a passage that is given, and what you need to do is answer the questions on the basis of what is given in the passage. Again, in BITSAT authorities have simplified our job in terms of telling us what are the specific question types they expect in reading comprehension. So there are basically 3 question types, and we will discuss all the 3 question types today. Here is a passage, and there is the first question type, which is called referent. All right. So do not rush to read the passage. In reading comprehension, never ever read the passage before reading the question. Because if you read the passage first, you'll be wasting your time because you don't know what to search for. So first read the question and then go back to the passage, because then you will know what you need to search for. So don't ever read the passage in reading comprehension without reading the question first. So I have not given the question yet. I've only given the question type. It is called referent. Now, what is the meaning of the word referent? Okay, so in the underlined phrase in the above passage, it refers to what? Okay, so what is the underlined phrase? The underlined phrase is this: attribute it to. Okay, now please tell me what the answer is. Since my chat is not working, please use the WhatsApp. In my next class, I'll try to fix this chat business. I don't want to interrupt the class now and correct this. So I suggest those of you, Tara is answering on the chat. So continue, Tara. Please give me an answer. 83006, whoever it is, they are also answering. Please give me an answer. In the underlying phrase, what is the answer? What is the answer? Tara is trying to answer furiously, but not got the answer yet. Okay, so here he's talking about attribute it to. He's asking us, what does it refer to? So you know the meaning of the word referent. Referent means what does a particular word refer to. So let's read the passage. We all tend to complain about our memories. Yeah, Tara has answered, human memory. Okay, we'll come back to it. We all tend to complain about our memories. Despite the elegance of the human memory system, it is not infallible. Okay, so that's a word. We need to understand the meaning of the word. And we have to learn to live with its fallibility. Same word. It's the antonym there. It seems to be socially much more acceptable to complain of a poor memory, and it is somehow much more acceptable to blame a social lapse. Oh, that's another word. We'll see what lapse means. On a terrible memory, than to attribute it to stupidity or insensitivity. All right. What is the question? In the underlined phrase in the above passage, it refers to, we're talking about human memory, we're talking about insensitivity, social lapse, or fallibility. Here, he is obviously, in this particular sentence, he says, it seems to be socially much more acceptable to complain of a poor memory, and it is somehow much more acceptable to blame a social lapse on a terrible memory than to attribute it. It means what? Obviously, we are talking about the human memory, okay, to stupidity or insensitivity. So answer, therefore, is human memory. It is insensitivity is wrong, social lapse is wrong, and fallibility is also wrong. So referent means what? Referent means you are given a particular word in the passage, and you are asked to, it could also be a phrase. It didn't necessarily be a word. It could also be a phrase. And he will ask you to suggest what it refers to. So that is the first question type as far as reading comprehension is concerned. Now let's look at the next question type. Again, don't read the passage. Vocabulary. This is simple. It is like the contextual meaning, where you are asked to find out the meaning of the word. Okay, so what is the meaning of the word infallible? All right, as used in the passage. So where is infallible given? Infallible is this. Okay, that is where infallible is. So what is the meaning of the word infallible? So could somebody answer this question? Please answer this question. What is the meaning of the word infallible? Okay, unfortunately, I still have to rely on my chat only. I hope magically I find some solution to that. Why is this misbehaving? Okay, so somebody has answered that question. 11819. All right, somebody has answered that question. We will come to that. Infallible. Infallible actually means incapable of failing. So despite the elegance of the human system, elegance means something which will, something which enhances the beauty, something which enhances the standard, something which enhances the quality. So despite the elegance of the human memory system, it is not infallible. That means it is infallible means it is incapable of failing. That means what he says is it is capable of failing. Okay, and we have to learn to live with its fallibility. That means we know that it is going to fail, and we got to learn to live with it. That is what he says. Now here, one particular peril of reading comprehension question is the eye catcher. Like here, there is one more option which is close enough. Close enough. Now this is close enough. That which cannot fall. See that L, you got to be careful about this L. It is not fail, it is fall. So you may be in a hurry, you may be tempted to answer that, but that is not the answer. The answer is incapable of failing. So if there is one thing that you need to be careful of in reading comprehension, these eye catchers, avoid these eye catchers. They are given there deceptively to see that you answer that particular question. So reading comprehension, if you need perfection, and reading comprehension, by the way, statistically, people say that most negative marks in English are scored in reading comprehension because people think that it is easy and they are not, but they are not as easy, because there will be a deceptively right answer, which is not the right answer. It's a deceptively right answer. Like here, that which cannot fall is a deceptively right answer. It's not the right answer. So the right answer is incapable of failing. So in reading comprehension, you have to see how to avoid this eye catches. We will do elaborate exercise on reading comprehension. All our questions, all our part tests and grant tests will have questions on reading comprehension. So there will be sufficient practice, and that is the only way to prepare for reading comprehension. The only thing that you need to keep in mind in reading comprehension is that you should not read the passage before reading the question. You need to read the question first and then search for the question in the passage. Okay, otherwise you would not know what to search for. That is as far as reading comprehension is concerned. Okay, now the next question type is content and ideas. According to the passage. So he's giving us certain options and he is asking us to find out what is the answer according to the passage. So here you need to get into the content idea. Okay, according to the passage, let's see. What is the answer? Oh, somebody is very fast. Okay, she has already given the answer. According to the passage. But that's a wrong answer. Whoever has given, that's a wrong answer. He says the answer is 1. It's a wrong answer. So I'll give a couple of seconds Let's see who else can answer this. Try to answer this. Let me try to activate the chat if possible. Okay, so somebody has given the right answer. We will see what the right answer is. According to the passage, human memory is so elegantly designed that it will not fail. Is that right? It's not right at all, because he says that we have to learn with its fallibility. That means human memory will fail. So this is wrong. Somebody has given this as the answer. So this is wrong. Okay, stupid people always forget. I mean, you can make out that it is a right, it's not the right answer. First of all, it is insensitive, stupid people. So anyway, there is no reference to this in the passage. That is not the right answer. If you forget something, it means you are insensitive. No, that is also not what is given in the passage. That's also not the right answer. Our memory may fail, and we have to accept it. That is what is given in the second sentence. He says, it is not infallible. That means it can fail. And we have to learn to live with it. That means we have to accept it. So therefore, the right answer is our memory may fail and we have to accept it. So that brings us to a close as far as reading comprehension is concerned. Let's go on to the next question type. Reading comprehension, for some strange reason, they've also included idioms and phrases. Now, I don't have to tell you about idioms and phrases. You would have done a whole lot of idioms and phrases right from high school. So we will proceed straight away with the question. What is the meaning of the word or the phrase, underlined phrase in the following sentence? The teacher left no stone unturned in explaining every item in the syllabus. Oh, that's what I'm trying to do now here. I'm trying to explain every item in the syllabus, in the BITSAT English syllabus. Okay, Tara is very fast. So she's given the answer. Okay, so what's the answer? Try in every possible way. So this is the answer. Try in every possible way. The teacher left no stone unturned. So what you, and actually this no stone unturned has got a strange origin. I believe somewhere in the 1500s, there was a general, a Greek general, who was defeated in battle. And before escaping, I believe he hid all his wealth in an island under some stones. So the treasure hunters who later went to the island consulted an oracle. Oracle is a wise man. Okay. So they asked him what they should do to find the treasure. And the oracle advised them to search under, to look under every stone. Or in other words, he said, leave no stone unturned. So that is the origin of this idiom. So English idioms have strange origins. So let's look at some more idioms. To have bitten off more than you can chew. That means try to do things which is beyond your capacity. Or at the drop of a hat, which means what? Instantly, without hesitation, not even thinking. Okay. Beat around the bush. That means not coming to the point and wasting time talking about everything else. Burn the midnight oil. Are you guys doing that? Are you burning the midnight oil? Burning the midnight oil means working late into the night. So are you doing it? So if you phase out your preparation properly and you work for that 9 to 10 hours every day, then you don't have to burn the midnight oil. I'm sure, I know there are some guys preparing for BITSAT and MSAT who want to start preparing only after the date is announced. And if you are that kind of person, then obviously after the date is announced, you will get only 10 or 15 days notice and you will try to burn the midnight oil. But by that time, it is going to be too late for your BITSAT and MSAT preparation. So now is the time for you to plan out and phase out your preparation, and I hope you guys are doing it. Next one is cry over spilt milk. All right, try to find out the meaning of the word. Cross the bridge when you come to it, or cut corners. Okay, being devil's advocate, let the cat out of the bag, piece of cake. These are some of the common idioms and phrases that you come across. So what are we going to do as far as idioms and phrases are concerned? We'll give you a list of common idioms and phrases. Try to go through them with meanings. And then we'll have exercises in idioms and phrases. So that is our preparation as far as idioms and phrases are concerned. Next question type or next subsection in BITSAT English is composition. Composition means, again, he's told us clearly what composition means. Composition means it is rearrangement. Let's start off with the first kind of rearrangement, which is parajumbles. Here, what happens is that there are 4 options, A, B, C, D. And what you need to do is sequence them in a proper manner so that they form a coherent sentence. Now I'll give you a couple of seconds to answer this and try to answer this. And then we will discuss how to answer this question properly. So I started getting some answers on WhatsApp. Doesn't look like the right answer, whatever I got. I'm not getting right answers. I am not getting right answers. Yes, I got the right answer. Okay. If not Peter, it is Paul. Okay. So there are only 4 options. Okay, now let's look at this. So first, how do you answer these sequencing questions? It makes little sense to read the sentences first and then go to the options. Don't ever do it. It's a waste of time. You will never be able to answer this question. It will take a lot of time. So what are you supposed to do? Go to the options first. So let us start with DACB. What is D? D is the researchers found that. So you're using the definite article the in front of researchers. That means somewhere before researchers have already been mentioned. Only then he can say the researchers, because he's talking about specific set of researchers. So your sentence cannot start with the researchers. It can start with the research. It cannot start with the researchers. The researchers can come only if the researchers have been introduced earlier. So it is not a starting sentence. So D cannot start the sequence. And this is the technique that we call anchoring. Anchoring technique in sentence sequencing means there are certain sentences which can start the sequence, and there are certain sentences which can end the sequence. So anchoring means you got to find out which is a sentence which can start the sequence and which is a sentence which can end the sequence. So anchoring means you fix the anchors. So that is what you should be doing. That is one of the most popular techniques for answering sentence sequencing questions, which is anchoring. Find the last sentence or find the first sentence. Sometimes, the conclusion is given. You can find out, thus I can conclude. That's an ideal last sentence. And an introductory sentence, that will be the opening sentence. In this particular case, D cannot be the opening sentence. So any option with D, you have to eliminate straight away. Let's look at the next one. What is the next one? CDBA. Somebody has answered that this is the right answer. We will see why it is CDBA, if at all it is the right answer. In a study, researchers have found that children go on to achieve academic success when the verbal skills are enhanced. What is enhanced? Enhance means to improve quality, strength, etc., etc. So to improve something. Okay, so this could be an opening sentence. So C is a possible opening sentence. Then it says the researchers found. So this CD is also possible. The researchers found that children from wealthier families had better language abilities, which boosted their academic performance. Maybe all right, but we can't say that is the right answer. Let's go on to B. The study was published in the Journal of Child Development. Suddenly that B has come out of the way. And then you've got A. The study looked at why children from well-educated families tend to do better at school. Here, we need to pause a little and find out the importance of this sentence. So the sentence sequencing questions have got less to do with English and more to do with reasoning. So if you look at this question, what is he given in this particular sentence? He is given the objective of the study or the aim of the study. The study looked at why children from well-educated families tend to do better at school. So that is the aim of the study. If you look at D, D is what they have found, because he says found. The researchers found that children from wealthier families. Now you decide, should A come before D or should D come before A? Obviously, the aim has to be stated first and then the conclusion has to come. So D has to come sometime after A. It needn't come immediately after A, but it has to come after A. So for this reason, B is not the right answer. B anyway cannot be, this C option cannot be the right answer because it starts with the study. Again, it starts with the, so study is not introduced, so it cannot be an opening sentence. So answer is C, A, B, D. So all those guys who've given D as the answer, there are quite a few who've given, I've got 3 right answers here on my WhatsApp. All of them good. That is the way to go. But as I told you earlier, sentence sequencing questions, if you're given sufficient time, anybody can answer sequencing questions. The trick is in terms of answering the questions fast. Also, like in reading comprehension, you will be misled by eye catchers. So let no eye catcher distract you in the case of sequencing question. Now let's look at the next question type. Jumbled sentences. That means a sentence is given and that is jumbled. Okay, so here there is a sentence where parts of the sentence are not in a sequence. So that A, B, C, D is not in a sequence. What you're supposed to do is put it in a right sequence. So who can answer that question? All right, I'll give you a couple of seconds. Try to answer that question. And again, as I told you, look at the options. Don't try to sequence them before getting into the options. Read the options first. Quickly, let me see some answers. Let me see some answers. Okay. We don't have an A, sorry. Okay. It is either 1, 2, 3 or 4. It's either 1, 2, 3 or 4. Okay. Someone has given 1 as the answer. Okay. Interestingly, this particular sentence, those of you who are familiar with P.G. Wodehouse, who read P.G. Wodehouse, would be familiar with this sentence because it is an extract from a P.G. Wodehouse novel. Okay. Let's see what's the answer. Now, if you look at the first answer, first option, it starts with B. As a sport depends, there itself I'm getting some vibes. May not be the right answer because it's starting with as. All right. So doesn't look all right, but still let's proceed. As a sport depends almost wholly on weather. That's also okay. That part is okay. VE seems to be okay. And then C, the fascination of shooting. Now this doesn't gel. So I think you have to eliminate this. Let's look at 2. You are at the right or C, the fascination of shooting. These two don't gel because or means you have to get the other option. Right means or means it should be wrong or left or something should be there. So DC don't gel. So that can't be the option. You can just leave it at that stage. Don't proceed even further. And then let's look at the third option. It says C, the fascination of shooting. E, almost wholly on weather. Again, this doesn't gel. That CE doesn't gel. So that can't be the answer. So what do you have here? C, the fascination of shooting as a sport depends. Oh, that makes sense. Almost wholly on weather. That also makes sense. You are at the weather. You see, we've already seen this conjunction. It gives the choice between two options. You are at the right or wrong end of the gun. Makes sense. So don't look further. That's the answer. Somebody has answered that. Somebody has got fourth as the answer. Somebody has given one as the answer. That's wrong. That's not right. Tara has given fourth. That's right. Okay. Somebody has given BECDA. That's not right. So now we've discussed, answer is 4. So what are we going to do as far as composition is concerned? We have an entire chapter on composition, that is rearrangement, and in due course, we're going to do this. We're going to discuss some tips and techniques, and that practice will help you in terms of answering this question. And this is a constant in BITSAT exam. So you always get questions on sequencing. So we will spend some time on this. Okay, now let's go on to grammar. I don't have too much time. Already it is 1:10, so I will rush through this. I will just introduce anyway. We can't teach grammar here today. So I will rush through the questions in grammar. So in grammar again, are you going to go through the entire Renan Martin? You don't have time for that. So what are you going to do? Fortunately, BITSAT authorities have given us the subsections within grammar. So these are the subsections. They are divided into 4 groups: adjectives, tenses, parallel construction, relative pronouns, determiners, prepositions, modals, adjectives, voice, transformation, and question tags and phrasal verbs. So fortunately for us, they have defined the syllabus as far as grammar is concerned. So what we're going to do is look at quickly the question types. What you have to do is see those question types with which you are familiar, those with which you are not familiar. Those questions you should be able to work on. But fortunately, you would have done sufficient of grammar till 12th class, right from your primary school in English. So you should be able to answer most of these questions. Let's quickly get on with the first one, what is called subject-verb agreement. Subject-verb agreement often comes with spot the error. So here you are supposed to spot the error. There are 5. The sentence is divided into 5 sections. You got to find out that particular phrase where there is an error. So can somebody give me the answer here? Tara is quickly answering this question. Let's see if she's got the right answer. Well, yeah, you got it. So here what happens is you are using not only but also. When you are using not only but also, you are dealing with 2 subjects, the teacher and the students. And what is the verb? The verb is was laughing. So was. So what is the rule as far as not only but also when you have 2 subjects? The verb has to agree with the second subject. The second subject is students. Students is plural, and therefore the answer should be were. So subject-verb agreement, there are certain rules. You can go back to your high school English and find out what those rules are. And this is not just in BITSAT. Any question on correction, error identification always deals with subject-verb. Let's quickly go on to the next type, tense. Again, I don't know, tell you about tenses. You've been doing tenses all your life. So how do you answer this question? Don't make so much noise. Suraj, we are looking for a present continuous tense. He is trying to study for his BITSAT test. So the answer is trying. So tenses is another common type that you will get in grammar in BITSAT. So answer is trying. Okay, good. So a lot of you have given the right answer. So answer is D. Let's go on. Parallel construction. So let's look at the meaning of the word of parallel construction. So parallel construction refers to the use of similar grammatical structures to express coordinate elements or ideas. Now that looks vague. Let's look at what it is. Here what happens is my music teacher plays, sings and teaches very well. So there are three actions out here. What parallel construction expects you to do is see that these three elements are in sync. That means they use similar grammatical structures. So what is the grammatical structure that we are expecting? Plays, simple present. Sings, simple present. Teaches, simple present. Therefore, if you look at the first option, your answer is right, because grammatically correct, because all three segments are using the same grammatical structure, simple present. If you look at this, my music teacher plays piano, sings and can teach. It is using a model there. So that is not right. My music teacher can play, the same reason, that can't be right. My music teacher plays piano, she sings. He's getting a pronoun out of the blue. So these three are not parallel. This one shows elements of correct parallel construction, and therefore that is the answer. Let's quickly go on to relative pronoun. Relative pronoun. My friend Dash doesn't have a cell phone, suddenly knocked on the door last night. And what is a relative pronoun? We use relative pronouns to introduce relative clauses. Relative clauses tell us more about people and things. For example, this is the house which Anil built. So this is a relative pronoun. Okay, so relative pronouns are that, which, whom, whose. These are very simple to answer, and I've got two right answers already. Answer is obviously who. Answer is C. Okay, let's go on. Determiners. Now, what is a determiner? Determiners are words placed in front of a noun to make it clear what the noun refers to. So articles are determiners. Demonstrative pronouns, this, that, these, those are all determiners. Quantifiers, all, few, many are determiners. Pronouns and possessives, all these are determiners. Okay, so let's see what is the answer here. Somebody has answered it very fast, but got it wrong. So 11819, I don't know your name, your answer is wrong. Okay, so there are two other people who have given it the right answer. The answer is nobody wants to expose themselves. That is why people often hide their feelings. So use a little bit of reasoning there. It is not a question on just grammar. You got to use reasoning. People often hide their feelings, and that is why nobody wants to expose themselves. Why? Because they want to hide their feelings. So answer is nobody wants to expose themselves. Answer is D. Okay, let's move on. Okay, fill the blank with appropriate preposition. Now, I don't have to tell you about prepositions. You've been doing this right from your primary school. So what is the answer here? So let me get the answer. Artists have been painting pictures of animals. Okay. So what is the answer? The mistakes that people often do, people often get confused between for and since. And this is a very popular question in any English examination. So tell me where for is used. For is used for a period of time. For a period of time, for is used. Please remember this. Since is used for a point of time. Since 1950. Since March 21st, when the lockdown began. For, I've been in lockdown for 3 weeks, period of time. So here the answer is artists have been painting pictures of animals for centuries. So the right answer is that. So prepositions, no excuses for not doing it right. You've been learning it from primary school and you should know how to do it. Let's go on. Models. There are, what is model? Model are these verbs. Okay, these are all called the model verbs. Okay, they tell you about probability, they tell you about permission, they tell you about conditionality, a whole lot of these things. So try to answer these questions. There are plenty of tomatoes in the fridge. So what is the answer? Let me see what you can answer. There are plenty of tomatoes. We are running out of time. Let me answer this question myself. You needn't buy any. You should not. Should not is a command. Needn't means you don't have to buy. You don't have to buy. Should not means you're commanding. Why should you command? When there are plenty of tomatoes, it is logical that somebody doesn't need to buy anymore. So needn't. So the correct appropriate model out there is needn't. Then adjectives. Find the blank with appropriate adjective form. He is too intelligent. Models, Tara wants to explain models. Madam, this is not a class to get into grammar. There will be a separate class on grammar. We will do that. Okay. We will do that. Today, I am trying to introduce the different question types. You got to find out what you're familiar with, what you're not familiar with. All right. So we will discuss that sometime later. Don't worry. He is too intelligent to be taught. So when you are looking at two, what comes after two? You will have basically, do you have a comparative form of the adjective? Do you have a superlative form of the adjective, or just the positive form? So obviously it makes sense to have only the positive form of the adjective, and therefore it is too intelligent. He is too intelligent to be taught. Okay. Sindhu was the dash player of the two. Here we are comparing between two people. So you'll have to use the comparative form, good, better, best. So the comparative form is better, answer is better. So adjectives are very simple. I'm sure you can answer these questions. Okay, wise. Here is a question. Everyone understands English. That's the active voice. You got to convert it into passive voice. English is understood by everyone. So that is quite a simple thing. Active, passive also you've been doing all your life. I don't think it requires any preparation. Transformation. Most of the transformation that you get is from direct to indirect speech. Suraj said, Saiti is coming this week to discuss this. So you have to convert it into indirect speech. So what is the answer? What is the answer? Answer is Suraj said that Saiti was coming that week to discuss it. So present continuous becomes past continuous. This becomes that. This becomes it. It can also become that, but it looks more elegant in this particular context. So answer is C. Okay. It is not A. Somebody has given A as the answer. It is not A. Okay. So let's go on. Question tags. You would have done this question tags in intermediate. He played well yesterday. So when the statement is a positive, the question tag has to be negative. And if the verb is the past simple, we use did. If the verb is present simple, we use do or does. So here it is the past simple. So therefore, he played well yesterday. Didn't he is the right answer. So question tags again is something which you've done in intermediate, and I've got the right answer. 3 people have given the right answer. Phrasal verbs. What is a phrasal verb? An idiomatic phrase consisting of a verb and another element, typically either an adverb, etc., etc. We will see phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are important. We have a chapter, a part of a chapter on phrasal verbs. I looked for my keys everywhere, but I couldn't figure out. So it's an idiomatic expression where there is a verb and something else along with it. Okay, so that is how phrasal verbs are. Let's move on. What we've done so far as the English syllabus is concerned, we've looked at vocabulary, we've looked at reading comprehension, we looked at composition, we looked at grammar. So we've looked at all the 4 subsections in English, and we've looked at different kinds of question types. Overall, we have looked at 30 questions. So what you got to do is look back at all these 30 questions and see what are you comfortable with, what are you not comfortable with. So the remainder of our preparation, you should be spending your time smartly on those question types which you are not comfortable with. Tara was asking models. We will do that. Similarly, there may be other question types with which you are not familiar. So that brings us to a close as far as this class is concerned. What are we going to do about the next class? The next class is on 15th, that is day after tomorrow. The topic is one word substitutes. And material, I prefer if you have our material. Let me see. This is our material. This is our material. Some of you already have our material. So if you stay in Hyderabad, if you contact Suresh, his number is given here. He will try to arrange for material. If you can come to the college somehow, he can make the material available. In case you can't do it, we will try to do some limited PDF and we will try to send it by WhatsApp to you. What you need to do is WhatsApp to this number. Please note down that number quickly. We are running out of time. Please note down this number 70938 20595, 70938 20595 with the hashtag BITSAT ENG. Write your name, write your section, send it to us, send it to this particular number, and we will try to arrange the material. And please give me feedback on WhatsApp whether you have found the class useful and we should have more classes, etc., etc. Whatever feedback, please give on this number which I am writing here, 90000007761. Please give your feedback. If you found it useful, you think we should have more such sessions, please give the feedback. So that brings us to a close as far as today's session is concerned. I'm sorry the chat did not work, but I promise that in the next class we will make this work, and I hope the next class will be more interactive. I did not find any way of finding out whether you people are still attentive, whether you are still awake. I don't know. 3 people are responding, 4 people are responding, so at least 4 people are awake. That confidence I have. So, okay, let me see if others are awake. So that brings us to a close, and thank you very much for your participation today. See you on 15th. Santosh, you can close the show now. Okay.